With the Brooklyn Nets, but the Lakers making a move, picking up Andre Drummond. Lakers have confirmed his signing. Drummond worked a buyout with the Cavs on Friday. He's on board, the defending champ. So the Lakers didn't make a trade this season, but they still found some inside help in the buyout market. Drummond had some needed rebounding help. He averages nearly 14 rebounds a game in his career and should take the pressure off Montrezl Harrell and Marc Gasol, who've been the primary centers for LA this season. Lakers.
Why not, right? I mean, when you get a guy who has led the league in rebounding for the last 5 years, you have to do it. It's going to be some interesting things. When can he start to play? He's got to pass some COVID protocols, likely. Maybe Wednesday against Milwaukee. Maybe that might be a little too soon. The league and the Lakers are kind of interviewing Andre about where he's been and how he got to LA and that type of thing. So not sure when he'll exactly get into the roster, but when will he start? That's the bigger question. Will he eventually pass Marc Gasol on the depth chart? We'll have to see.
James, one of the conversations around Andre Drummond and where he would go is the fact that he's a free agent. He's still really young. He's a two-time All-Star. Where is he at in his career? Still wants to get paid, still numbers, or does he really want to have a chance to win a championship? What does it tell you about Andre Drummond that he leaves the Eastern Conference, leaves a lot of money, and he's coming to play in L.A.?
Well, he's made a decision. You know, first he wanted to get out of Detroit. His options, if I'm correct, are pretty good. He gets a free agent next year.
Oh, yeah, in about 4 months.
So, you know, he's young. He's going to get to explore one of the teams that he might think could win championships in his future. You know, LeBron here a couple more years, AD. He might like that. It'll be interesting to see how they make that free agency work, Brez. But it tells you that he wants to take a look. And, you know, everyone knows that LeBron wins and that he gets to the finals at least. So I think he wants to take a look at that.
Interesting, Rob. I mean, you and James were winning when you guys first came into the league. Andre Drummond's never won a playoff series.
He hasn't?
Detroit, no.
Wow.
27 years old. So for him, maybe he wants a taste of that.
You know, I think sometimes a lot of guys, when you're in this situation, he might say, you know what, I want to win a couple of rings for a couple of years, stay here, and then get paid, because he's still young.
Yeah.
He still has the opportunity to explore, and not next year, but a few years down the line, because sometimes guys value winning more than they value rings. And this might be the case for him, where he wants to stay here, win rings, and then move on, and then get paid.
So this begs the next question, right? So Frank Vogel and that staff have decisions to make. Now, LeBron and AD are out. So right now the rotation, you know, they're going to have to figure some things out. But when AD and Bron come back, I mean, James, not everyone can play. Andre Drummond, people think, will slide into the starting center role.
I think so.
Next to Anthony Davis. So Marc Gasol is going to have to take a different role. Markieff Morris, guys like that. People will have to change roles. That can sometimes be difficult, but it's a good problem to have.
It's a great problem to have. When you look at Marc Gasol's career, he's in his, what, 15th year maybe?
Right around there, yeah.
Right around in there. He's had his career pretty much. Drummond is 27. Mark's going to have to understand that. He's going to have to understand that his minutes might go down, and he'll fit into that role perfectly. He can back up, you know, AD. He can back up, you know, Drummond. He can come in the game for Trez if he has to. I think it's a perfect scenario. And to me, those are the only minutes that I think will be deducted, in my opinion.
You know, if you're a realist here, you have to look around that team. You know, when THT was playing good, we sat in here and said someone's going to lose minutes.
It's Wes Matthews.
It was Wes Matthews. And so if you look at this team and you go by productivity, it's going to have to be Marc Gasol. And you don't want to say this because he's done so much, but you have to look at what Drummond can do compared to Marc. I know everybody said, well, start Marc a little bit and then bring Drummond off the bench. But no, I think you just start Drummond. Yeah. And Marc said, Marc, take a page out of Wes Matthews' book, take a page out of Twin book, but stay ready, because we might need you.
Yeah, and listen, Brez, it'll change the style of play. Drummond is not the space the floor, shoot a three type of center.
Yeah, his career three-point percentage, I think, is 12%. So he's not going to be raining any threes, that's for sure. Hard to argue with a guy, though, who just 2 months ago, when everything was still going great in Cleveland, before they acquired Jarrett Allen, Drummond had a game against the Knicks, 33 points and 23 rebounds. This guy can score. He can carry teams. The knock, kind of what you and Rob were talking about earlier, he hasn't been a winner in the playoffs. So this guy kind of has to prove, like Kevin Love did a few years ago in Cleveland, I can join a winning team, help them get championships. I'm not always going to be a loser, so to speak, as far as lack of playoff experience and playoff wins. Here's the perfect opportunity for him to show that he can definitely win some playoff games.
49% from the free throw line as well. And
Yeah.
look at Dwight Howard last year, too. He had that knock on him, came
Sure.
here, helped the team win a ring. All right.